BQB episode 57. Apologies for not having an episode last week. I did have a bit of the man flu. I know a lot of our listeners were concerned, and we are back fighting as fit as we can this week. Good evening, Angus. Do you have a beverage?
I do. I've gone a bit special tonight. I'm going with a bottle of Stone Curlew.
Oh, lovely.
I did promise you guys I wouldn't drink the Urella Brewing until we all had them, so that was the two choices.
Yes, very nice.
Excuse.
And Caesar, yourself?
Good evening, guys. I do also have a beverage. I got a Hiker Explorer West Coast double IPA. Picked up fresh from the brewery down there. So Dan was down there and looked after me.
Lovely. And I have, look at that pour of that beautiful Stone Curlew. Nice glass too. Those watching on YouTube. And I have an Evil Mega Corp. The Bindle Maxing, which is the unspecified IPA that Reese has done. It's 8.2%, 500 mils, so it's a big bopper. And it's always sort of sits outside the socially acceptable classification. So keen to crack this one.
It matters when you're judging.
It does. You just got to get it in the right category. Oh, that's amazing. That reminds me of the early Stone beers I had with that big tangerine lack to it with a really decent bitterness. That's that's very, very good. And how's the Hiker?
Very nice. A lot of there's piney notes to it. You can really taste the hops through it, but it's got a great smell as well. Fantastic.
And Angus, how's your beautiful barrel age going?
The Grisette. It's gotten a little bit more acidic since I had it at the launch. When was that? Feels like
the Brisette was about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, the launch. Yeah, it's really nice. I think it's soured a little bit. It's really nice beer. Got some little bit of funk to it if you really really stick your nose in there and have a snort.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
lovely.
I'll start off with beer news, and I was actually last week I was putting that the Three Ravens Brewery was up for sale, and yesterday they actually went into voluntary administration. So after 23 years of making award-winning craft beers, Three Ravens Brewery in Thornbury is looking for new owners. 674 metre squared freehold site, major plant upgrades including CO2 heat pump, chilling, glycol integration. It's got Firmcraft automation, rooftop solar. So and it includes all the recipes and IP and all that.
I know who's due to buy a new venue.
Yeah. I've always liked I've always liked their reds. They do like a couple of red IPAs that have been absolutely amazing. So throughout the VA, it's business as always as usual. So hopefully the local community can get around it, and hopefully they can come out of it at the other end, or someone purchasing it all up. So that's never good news, but it's interesting to see anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's good that VA is not a good sign, but what is a good sign is that they've taken the steps to do a VA before things have gone really to crap and you've burned all your goodwill and there's no way back.
Yeah,
if you can kind of get in front of it and be open and honest with your creditors and try and trade through or get a good sale. That's a good sign, kind of.
And I must have read that post about the same time as you did, Luke. And the one thing I took out of it is that they seem quite positive towards the end. like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to be back. So I'm like, well, if they're really trying to fight for it, that's great. Hopefully it works out for them.
Last week, we also saw some exciting news out of the IBA with the announcement that the India Awards will return next year for their 10th year. And it's evolving into a competition that recognises and celebrates people rather than the product, I guess, in the independent brewing industry. At this stage, the IBA has simply made the decision to refocus the competition, and the next steps will involve shaping and details, how it's all going to work, and they're looking for a committee to come on. My understanding is the awards will be more about the people and not a beer competition or a smaller beer component. It's an interesting twist. Maybe it should have a different name than the Indies, but I guess that's something for the committee to get together and come up with. And it's good that they're focusing on the people who make indie beer, whether that might be suppliers, retailers, not necessarily just like a normal beer competition, because we're starting to get a few more ramp up now. So I'm interested to see how this goes, and I'm glad they're making a decision to try and do something different, I guess.
Yeah, I don't recall any kind of industry awards night where brewers are getting rewarded, or front of house stuff, marketing, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
it could be
an
like
interesting
that.
difference.
Yeah. Short of
new or-
the recognition for the number of gold medals you might get at an awards, like best new brewery and those sort of things. But I actually really like the name the Indies. I think it stands out for them, and everyone knows what it is. So that's one thing you really can't change.
Yep.
And if you don't want to lose that either.
No, there's ownership to it, definitely. We all heard sad news about James Boag's ending production after 145 years in Launceston at the Esk Brewery there. Operations moving fully onto the mainland. It's a sad departure. Only 2 years ago, production of the flagship Boag's Premium moved to the North Island, as they call it. And after a short closure, the Tas government chipped in $1 million to keep the tourist destination running, and apparently the owners have vowed to pay that back. They're actually going to keep the visitor centre open after the brewing stops there later this year. It'll be good, but I don't see many people taking brewery tours after the brewery shut. A sad piece of Tassie history, and again, another 42 full-time jobs gone. It's consolidation and collaboration and everything like that seems to be the way that the big guys play it. So it's a bit sad. Like Cascade and Boag's were always the Tassie. You had one or the other, and it's a bit sad that they're both now foreign owned and not producing.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a few articles saying that independent beer in Tasmania is now dead. And plenty of people were protesting, going, well, actually, there's heaps of breweries down here. Just two of the biggest ones have gone.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of craft brewers down here that are doing their thing and producing great beers. It's not...
Yeah, I shared the Van Diemen press conference that was released, and I thought that was a bit of a laugh on our Facebook group, because he basically he's farm to glass there. He does a lot of the stuff himself. So Van Diemen Brewery's definitely well, and we've got Spotty Dog and Duquesne and some other really cool breweries, even Moo Brew and that as well. So yeah, there's lots in Tassie still to be loved.
I think if anything, it's the small independents are keeping the craft growing, whereas the big boys weren't so much what you call craft. But I did a Christmas New Year's 2 years ago down there, and I did go and visit quite a number of. I did a brewery and beer and scotch and or whiskey tour and that sort of stuff, which was fantastic. Some great places down there. So, but the one thing they all did take from it though is that to produce down in Tasmania, it had to be in self-dependent. Everything had to come from the island. It's just so hard to get anything else. So I can see why the bigger breweries would want to go to the mainland because of transport costs and stuff, and it's cheaper to send cartons back to Tasmania than it is to for that smaller amount rather than ship everything back offshore to sell to the rest of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody growing malt down in Tasmania.
It might be a bit chilly, but I think there is some. But yeah,
It's not really.
Yeah. And Holgate Brewhouse is up for sale. So, it's similar to what we saw last year with Padre, where they're actually going to sell the property and then lease it back. It's like a financial push where an investment, gets to own the building with a really long-term lesser, and it sort of frees up a bit of cash from the property that a business is holding. So the brewery's not closing. They make around 7 million litres annually, but the Wood End Brewery, they're trying to move the freehold for about $5 million. And I think it's a smart financial play if you want to inject a bit of cash. If someone wants to, have a sturdy tenant, it's probably an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. No, I'm really disappointed. I haven't really had a chance to. I've always kind of liked Holgate, and I just haven't had a chance to get down there and have a, be nice to have, see it while they're in there. But we'll see how it goes.
I think they'll stay in there, and I don't think they're planning on moving. I think they just want someone to buy the property, and then they'll do a long-term lease out of it, like a lot of businesses do, to sort of free up some of the equity in the building. That Holgate's, I'm pretty sure they've been around. It's over 20 years. I think they had a 21 year release thing, and they've really sort of punched along for quite a while. So I don't think they're going anywhere.
That's fair.
And my last beer news was 19,000 equity punks have signed up for the second best equity offer from James Watt. I still believe that a share of nothing still equals nothing. And who gives away 19.3% of a starting business for free? I still think the whole James Watt Brewdog second best thing is extremely dodgy. But I guess if you've come out with nothing, it's probably worth putting your name up for this.
Well, I mean, they've already lost what they're going to lose, and getting something for free means you still got an ability to get something for what you've lost. So if you're in, I assume it's based in Scotland again. If you're based where he's brewing from, you get access to the in-venue, I don't know, events, dinners, beers, whatever his offering is for the punked. But
he's already said he's going to start 3 other beverage companies underneath second best. So I don't understand what that's all about, whether he's moving away from beer or in conjunction with beer, or I don't know. It just seems very dodgy.
I don't know a lot, and I probably am opening a whole can that we probably shouldn't get into. But I was under the impression that, so like, if you're in charge of a business and you let it go bankrupt, you shouldn't be barred from being able to run another one or run whatever it is.
Yeah,
I think for a certain amount of time.
I think they jumped before the shit hit the fan, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
mean,
the technical term.
There's a whole bunch of I guess rules and things you have to qualify to get banned as a director in Australia. Anyway, you've got to be doing some pretty naughty things,
Yeah,
or illegal things. Whereas I think James Watt's done a lot of naughty things and a lot of dumb things, but I'm not sure if he's done many illegal things.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
certainly in Australia, like you're going to be doing some pretty illegal stuff to get banned as a director, and that's normally only for a certain number of years as well.
yeah, yeah. And Angus, you had something about a world's largest craft beer museum.
Yeah, this looks pretty manic. I was just wandering around the internet one night. So I reckon it's going to take a lot to top the new World Craft Beer Museum, what's claimed as the world's largest craft beer museum. It boasts more than 10,000 bottles on display. Collection spans over 300 countries, including classic Belgian IPA ales, German Schwarzbiers, American IPAs, and emerging Chinese brands. Somewhat stepping outside the normal kind of hands-off static museum displays. It's also holding beer tastings, education seminars, and other beer-related entertainment efforts. The venue looks pretty cool. Have a look at some photos if you find them. So if you're ever kicking around Nanjing in China with a spare 7 or 8 hours, it's that big. Get some Chinese-style beer education.
Sounds very cool.
Yeah, the photos are epic. Like I've got a couple of custom-built display stands with
Looks
the beer bottles.
huge.
Like something like in a kind of a big kind of arc going up, and there's all bottles everywhere. It's pretty manic.
I wonder how well Australia's represented there.
Yeah, I didn't see much there. Like there wasn't many photos of the 10,000 bottles. There was more photos of the kind of the display stands and areas. Yeah, I don't know if there's any Australian stuff there.
We'll have to visit just to make sure. And the 2026 Sydney Royal Beer and Cider Show is now accepting entries.
Yeah, they've kicked off their marketing campaigns and accepting entries. Chair of judges this year is Young Henry's co-founder Richard Adamson. So I've forgotten the name of the previous chap, but he's stepped down as the chair of judges. And like if they want to fly me down and put on some accommodation, I'll go down and steward. I'm sure sure Caesar would be up for it as well.
100%. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
I have some contacts with the inside particularly the RNA with the future directors committee, and they tend to go around a bit. So maybe I can see even get in with them.
Richard is an absolute legend. I've chatted with Richard quite a few times. I'm wondering when he has to change the brewery from young Henry's to teenage Henry's, as his son is getting a bit older now.
Middle hair.
Adolescent Henry's, I'm not sure, but he's an absolute top bloke, and it's not the biggest comp, but I'm really keen to see what comes out of it, and I'd be really keen to go down and judge as well. So I might throw in my hat there, and if I'm not too late already, and see if I can pop down.
I think the thing that they're spending their money on though is the white lab coats. That I saw the post this week, and everyone's wearing their white lab coats for judging.
It is still a white lab coat one. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they said there's only 40 judges or 40 panel judges.
Yeah.
So,
it's a smaller, like I said, it's one of the smaller comps, but I think it's really starting to grow. From what I've heard in the last few years, it is really starting to grow. And I think Adelaide's just before that as well too.
Yeah. Okay.
And you also have Betspoke. My favorite Canberrans.
Yeah. So they're celebrating their 12th year of operation as an independent brewery, and they're releasing their annual Descent 26, which is their birthday imperial stout. So the first one's been packaged in 3 years so it's only been on tap in the brewery for the past 3 years. So you take it home and enjoy. Benspoke make cracking beers. I'm sure everyone's had Crankshaft, so I'm sure this Impy Stout is going to be another top beer of theirs. Given that it's 12 years, co-founder Richard Watkins has reminisced about some of the key events over the last 12 years. Opening the brew pub in Braddon in 2014 was key to helping them kind of build their community and group of supporters. And then the Mitchell production facility expanded their ability to grow and but still maintain their Canberra presence. So that's cool. I like Benspoke.
Yeah, Sprocket is a cracker. I think Big Nut has recently, Big Nut was out recently, so yeah, really cool. Dick Tracy's a good beer of theirs too. Yeah.
I just remember, I know they've gone away from it. Remember the open top cans they started with?
That's right.
Yeah. Colonial and Benspoke had the old finger cutters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a brewery in New Zealand who's gone back to them. I can't remember who it was, but I saw.
You talked about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, and in Australia, you can't have them with a container deposit scheme because it's considered a two-piece can.
Oh yeah.
You got to have a one-piece can with a ring pull because if it's got it's a two-piece, so you don't get the But yeah, the old finger cutters were great with Benspoke. You just slam them down; they were brilliant. And you had something about Asahi.
Well, first of all, just kind of tailing in your IBA story.
Oh yeah.
I think this came out sometime last month, but they're now offering a true indie supporter membership for retailers, sole traders, and beer enthusiasts.
Ooh.
So they must have got enough requests about how can I support you guys, but I'm not a brewery, so I don't qualify for the brewery membership.
Yeah.
So they brought out this true indie supporter membership. I think the timing ties in really well because they've announced over the last 6 months just growing members of breweries adding to their ranks. So I think this ties in well at the same time, bringing on bottle shops and other kind of beer companies or beer related companies that aren't making beer, getting them on the books as well, and just kind of growing their rank of supporters.
So sort of an associated trade sort of membership.
Yeah, so they have brew membership, then there's an associate membership, and now this is a new one, aimed at kind of smaller bottle shops and distribution stores and people, I guess, as well.
Interesting. And beer podcasts, probably.
Maybe beer podcast, yeah. They didn't mention us, but
Yeah,
sure that's an oversight.
of course. Sorry, and back to Asahi.
Back to Asahi. So in the latest news from Asahi throwing money around like they sell 50% of beer in Australia, they've just broken ground on their $150 million distribution center in Redbank near Ipswich. It's going to feature a high-speed shuttle, full robotics control, over a megawatt solar panel system, and extensive freshwater capture system. So they've gone all out, 150 million.
Yeah.
Expected plan to see the venue finished in 2028, which seems pretty fast. And that Redbank area is really turning into a hub for large beer and liquor. Centauri's production center and ILG's new distribution center are 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah, I think the latest Coles robotic picking centers there too.
Yep, around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's feels kind of strange to say, but Ipswich is really kicking some goals with their Redbank motorway estate, attracting some big businesses. Yeah, like you said, there's some other big names in there as well.
Yeah.
I think been placed right near a couple of main highways or interstate highways. really makes it a sensible place to put your distribution centers.
I just wish there was probably less automation. They're all. I know it's going to create lots of jobs building them, and the transport and everything will be great for gridlock and things like that. But I just think that it'd be pretty cool to see a bit more, workers there in Ipswich, I guess.
Yeah, it's a kind of a tough one. I know that they're actually have pretty good unions down that way too with those transport companies. So I can see there being some. They're trying to. It's just trying to money grab and save money, isn't it? At the end of the day, but I do agree that they're. It's be nicer not to. It's. Isn't that the way though? Businesses are always going to try and
Yeah.
It's their biggest cost is always going to be labour.
Yeah.
And
biggest risk as well.
Yeah.
In factory setting, biggest risk is having humans
robots
there.
don't hurt themselves as much, do they?
Yeah. And Caesar, you had something about the Woolloongabba expansion of Happy Valley.
Yeah. So this week, Happy Valley have really started to ramp up their marketing for it. So I thought I'd talk a little about it. So Shane, the owner, has been over setting it up. So it's South City Square in Woolloongabba. So 2-level venue underneath some cinemas. They've got a nice little design, sort of chic fit out. 16 lines, 8 of which are going to be Happy Valley. So that's another 8 to put towards the local market and whatnot, which is really good. And of course, one of the reasons why I like to talk about them is because they were the grand champion at the Queensland Beer Awards this year. So their 50k IPA will definitely be on tap. And a little bit of whiskey too, if you appreciate that. So it's good to see that area growing again, because it's been a bit neglected a bit in the past and up and down with what they weren't sure what was going to happen with the Gabba. So it's good.
Yeah, nice. And you're right. Sorry,
I had a good chat with Jake during the beer awards about having to service all the taps there. Another 8 taps he's got to keep full with beer, so it'll be a good challenge.
Yeah. Was that all the beer news before we go to Angus around Australia?
I just had quickly the Brisbane Beer Barons group this week. Someone was posted and saying, "Oh, I'll come up and celebrate to Queensland from down south and looking for craft places to go to." And Joss from Hop On Brew Tours happened to post her custom map of Southeast Queensland breweries. So if you're looking for it for a few ideas, really good to jump onto that. There's some great stuff on there. Plenty of different things to go to.
Yeah, I think there was a booklet that you could get at breweries too.
Yeah. She's really, really good to shout out. I will say that I am actually doing a cameo one-off tour for her next month, but just as a caveat to, I'm not trying to just blow smoke up the boss's ass or anything, but Joss is a really good person, and her and Matt, and
we love Joss.
Joss is fantastic. If you know the beer awards, you know Joss.
Yeah, you've triggered a memory, and I don't know the exact details, but Joss just got awarded a scholarship over to Western Australia.
Yeah, I was trying to
really
find
fuzzy on the details, but that's
I
massive.
think it's to do with
that's awesome
Pink
news.
Boots.
Yeah,
Pink Boots. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to look up for it. I think it's the so Pink. Yeah, it's just the Pink Boots thing, and it's WA Beer and Brewing Conference scholarship.
Yeah, you won't find anyone who knows the Queensland beer scene more than the Hop On Brewery Tours and definitely worth, if you haven't done a tour, it's definitely worth doing one. And that is not sponsored content. I've done one and I love it, and I love what they do. And yeah, definitely worth it if you are in southeast Queensland. So I think that's all of our beer news. So Angus, around Australia this week.
Around Australia sees us heading up to the Sunshine Coast hinterland near Maleny. A little bit of history. It was first inhabited by the Nalbo and Dullumbara people. And the whole area was famous for its towering bunya trees. So every 3 years or so, when the bunya trees produced their massive nutritious nuts, indigenous tribes would travel for bunya feasts and ceremonies. The late 19th century saw a massive timber boom in the region, with vast amounts of cedar logged and carted by bullock teams down to the Palmerston Passage for export via ships. And in 1878, Isaac Burgess registered the land selection that would turn into where Maleny is presently situated. From 1900 to 1980, there was a massive dairy boom. As the rainforest was logged, it exposed rich volcanic soils, coupled with the reliable rainfall in the region. That was really an attractive area for farmers. Became a massive dairy area. The Maleny Dairy Co-op was founded in 1903, and that legacy of dairy in the region still carries through to today. Maleny Dairies keeps the rich agricultural history alive for tourists, and there's a cheese place there as well. There's a whole bunch of they do tourist stuff really well in that Maleny area. But we are more interested in 2016, when Sunshine Coast locals Julian and Lee, Jess Bess, Matt Jankowskis, and Dave Loff combined their vision of quality independent beer and a local dining experience to open the doors of Brouhaha Brewery. And they very quickly gathered a following for sour beer heads, and their rhubarb sour is still one of my favorite Australian sour beers. That might be tied to childhood memories of my nana making rhubarb pie and ice cream. But it's a fantastic beer, that one.
Yeah.
2021 saw them open a production facility in Baringa, that's down off the range, and that facility focused on their core range beers, allowing the smaller Maleny brew kit to focus on one-off and inventive beers. One memory I have of Brouhaha was during COVID. They were selling deliveries of fresh farm produce and beer, and actually delivered all the way down to Rosedale South, because where I'm living now, they delivered outside my house. So I had the pleasure of being delivered, hand delivered beer and produce by Matt. So that's a good, I guess, one good memory I have of COVID.
Yeah.
And some of the beers they've produced over the years, obviously the rhubarb sour, milk stout, which is one of their core beers, and that's a really, really good beer to have up in the Maleny venue. There's a back deck you can sit on and look down the range. Really, it's a nice venue. Baked and Wasted, one that I haven't had, but it sounded really interesting. So, beer that took unsold bakery goods from local bakeries, and they used them in the production of the beer. Didn't really say how they used the baked goods. So
It's probably similar to toast in the UK. That when I was there over there a few years ago, they actually literally throw in the stale bread into the mash, and it breaks down the enzymes just like a normal grain mash. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And they did a run of their imperial sours, or their sours in an imperial range. And I missed getting my hands on the imperial rhubarb sour, which I was gutted about. But I tried a few others. No.
Yeah, I did get that one. That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, busted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it. That is Angus around Australia.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, brouhaha of that rhubarb strawberry Was it strawberry? What was the other? Rhubarb and mint? I can't remember, but it was very nice. And I guess we're ready to guess the brewery in 10-ish questions, and it's my turn with the brewery this week. And gentlemen, fire your engines.
It's an Australian brewery.
Nope.
So, not that really narrows it down, but anyway. What's next? Is the head brewer or owner a famous beer celebrity?
Not that I know of.
Nope.
I don't even know who the head brewer is, if that helps.
How do I put this? Is it like one of the largest breweries in the world?
It would have to be probably in the top 20 known breweries in the world. I'm not sure about their particular volume, but it's up there. Like you should know it.
Is it a US brewery?
No.
I was going to go, is it? So I'm thinking it's Europe or UK or Ireland.
Which one of those three?
Yeah, let's go. Is it from UK or Ireland?
No.
Okay.
It's the other one.
Okay. I had in my mind maybe Guinness, but
Yeah, that's where I was going too.
it was? Okay.
Great minds think alike.
So it's got to be European. Probably going to be German.
Probably German, yeah.
German or
Nine.
Belgian or
French.
Nine. Oh, whatever French is for no.
no.
None.
No.
English bastard.
Come on, I'm helping here.
I was about to say, so I'm assuming that it's French then.
No.
No, he said no. Is it going? Therefore, we're looking at Netherlands.
No.
Oh, what else we got? Italian, maybe.
No.
So there's a couple, but not many that you well known.
Is it European?
No, he said it's Italian.
Hey?
Did you say you said it was Italian, or you said no to Italian?
No to Italian.
Oh. Oh, Spanish.
No.
It's European.
That's European.
We're at 11 questions already.
Didn't you say no to European?
No, I didn't. I said it is European.
It's European. Jeez, what other countries are there? Poland?
Well, unless we're going eastern
Greece.
way. I was thinking we're going through a lot of the western ones.
The often the biggest consumers of beer in the world.
Like the Czechs.
They are.
Angus.
So Czech brewery is going to be Pilsen or yeah, the other one.
Budvar. Budvar.
Caesar's got it. Budvar.
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 The original Budweiser.
Budjovicki Budvar since 1895. The German name for Seske Budjowski is Budweis, meaning from Budweis, where Budweiser gets its name from. It is owned by the Czech government, and it's one of the biggest state-owned beers in the world. It has had a 100-year legal battle with Anheuser-Busch about the name Budweiser, and it is still going, but in everywhere but the US, it is known as Budvar. In America, it is known as Czechvar. Budvar is matured for a minimum of 90 days in its cellars underground, where it has its own deep water spring that it uses its water from. Basically, that and they really created the Pilsner movement with lagering techniques under their cold caves underground. But it has protected geographical indication now, and it is at the moment exported to 76 countries. Well known for its traditional brewing methods, and it's really well known for its flagship Budvar lager using the artesian water, Moravian barley, and Saaz hops, as of which Brendan Fielding said when he did the Checkmates collaboration with Budvar that the hops, not the yeast, was the hardest bit to get through customs. And so over 100 years they've been had a trademark dispute between Anheuser-Busch and Budvar. So very good, very interesting, and well done, Caesar, for getting that in 14 questions.
Ish.
So that they've had a couple of generations of lawyers working on their lawsuit.
Yeah. And it's changed a few times. It was like I think I had it like 1996. There was a new ruling. 1948 there was a ruling. 1973 there was a ruling. Actually, what packaging innovation did Budvar introduce in 1973? They were the first to can beers.
Ooh.
Apparently. Then there was the Velvet Revolution when they became independent in 91, and then the government took over again. But the European Court of Justice gave exclusive EU rights to Budweiser in 2010 to Budvar. Budweiser in America lost that court case. So it's quite interesting. I think it's one of those ones that will keep going forever. And Budweiser in America uses rice and adjuncts, which is nothing like the Czechs would ever use anyway. So it's an interesting story. So I think that's all of our beer news. I think we move on to sport ball. We'll start. Caesar, how's AFL?
An interesting week. So Lions finally had a win, had a couple of bad weeks. But that was against the local Q clash against the Gold Coast Suns. This week they're on the road to sunny Hobart to play Richmond because they're definitely from there. No, it's fine. But it's nice cold 10 to 14 degree day afternoon on Sunday, so that's going to be fun. But the big news this week is with the death of Neil Danaher, they have the Big Freeze on to celebrate MMD. And they did that over the weekend with the big slide, and then they had the memorial state funeral yesterday, with this highlight being the symbolic empty chair and a blue beanie at the top of the MCG slide, which is always pretty cool. And the big news, which will lead into probably what most of our guys are more familiar with, is NRL with Jai Arrow announcing he has it. And then tonight, in fact, I just checked. They had he rang the community bell for the Rabbitohs. They had their whiteout jersey on. But I'll let Luke can go into more detail on that.
Oh, and definitely, but he also threw the coin at the AFL as well. So it was like cross code recognition of everything. So but again, it's horrible illness. One of my workmates, her partner, we lost to MND, and I think they call it something different in the States, but it is the most horrible thing that you can imagine. And all the fundraising from the AFL especially, they've really got behind it, and it sort of flowed into the NRL. And I think with Dry Arrow suffering from it, I think we'll see maybe a bigger push in fundraising through the AFL, the NRL ranks as well. Yeah. And how's Super Rugby with Angus?
Oh, I don't know if I want to talk about it. I think it's come to its obvious conclusion. The ACT Brumbies were categorically spanked by the Canes, 67-0.
No,
so that's massive.
I can beat that. So you keep going.
Brumbies weren't allowed to fire a shot. It wasn't just that they weren't able to. The Hurricanes just outplayed them in every single facet of the game. Just an absolute whitewash. And the Reds, they had a defeat as well. There's a lot of conjecture about the ref, but look, at the end of the day, the Reds were always chasing the game, and there's this part about kind of 8 or 9 minutes from the end where they were chasing a try to even the scores, and they've kicked the ball away.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not good tactics, right? You're trying to score a try. That means you have to have the ball in your hands, and you've kicked it away. And it was a nothing kick. Like, no one was chasing. It was an easy catch. They ran the ball back like 40 meters away from the danger zone. Like, it was just such a wasted opportunity. And I think that really, to me, epitomizes Australian rugby at the moment, is that they just don't have a game plan in place. They have an idea of what they want to do. And if that doesn't work, then they kick it. So there's no kind of like 2 or 3 plans or tactics or possible solutions. They try one thing, doesn't work, then they go like, oh crap, well, let's kick it away. Yeah. Anyway, come to its logical conclusion for the Australian teams. None left in the finals, and we're on to an all New Zealand semis.
Yeah. Well, I can beat your 67-0 with my Tigers getting beaten 68-0 by the
I missed that one.
Absolutely pantsed by the Penrith Panthers. Really disappointing, but I have to say we're still above the Broncos in the ladder, which is nice for me. Which is, and everyone might be confused because I go for Queensland, but I don't really go for the Broncos. So Origin next Wednesday at the MCG. Queensland has only won once at the MCG, so it should be quite interesting. And I actually think that if we keep 13 players on the field and score more points than the other team, by the end we have a good chance of winning, as the 12th man would say. If you've got more points by the end of the game, you've got a pretty good chance of winning. I'm not going to delve on my Tigers anymore.
That's right. I do think that after the issues from the last game, that it might be give Queensland a little bit more fire than they already had.
Same ref, and I don't think he was a bad ref. I think he made one bad call when he overruled the bunker, which I didn't think they could do. But if you look at the whole game, he's probably the best ref. And I know there was a call for him to be sacked over that, but I still think he's probably the best ref in the game, and I don't have a problem with that. He made a bad call, and it really cost us. But if we play like we did in the first 40, in this 40 at the MCG, we should be sweet. So, in the FIA Battery Management World Championship, we visited Monaco this past week, and the smaller cars and removal of energy areas actually made for some good racing. It wasn't the normal follow the leader as we were expecting. A lot of people were stung by the speeding in the pit lane, and there's been some official complaints. Alpine have applied. The first went to the court today, and they're going to do a secondary court. Basically, what happened was when Cadillac entered the pit lane, they actually had to change where the pit lane was, and they took a measurement from the beginning to the end to measure the actual speed of the cars. None of the cars actually went over the 60-kilometre-hour speed limit, but because of where the lines were painted, some cars cut, and that means they went over the 60 Ks on average. So there's been a few sort of legal questions about that. Alpine, Oscar Piastri. So he actually got third, even though he didn't get to go up on the podium. But Alpine are, challenging the question. They're gone to the second round of appeals. Caesar?
Well, I agree. It's definitely the microsector. So the microsector for the beginning of the pit lane was the one that was showing them over by 0.1, 0.2 of a K.
Yeah.
So clearly, if you look at the back end of that they're not having that issue out of the pits. I think it's going to be hard because Russell was up there until he had his penalty, and he served his penalty.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other teams didn't, because they pitted a bit earlier than Russell did.
Yeah.
And it caused an issue for the fact that they can't retrofit the people that had a penalty applied after the race as opposed to someone who served it during the race.
Yeah.
And
there was warnings. A lot of the drivers were being warned as they came into the pits not to cut that first corner too.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't they weren't to cut. They just were told not to speed. Because the way it's written, and that's the problem, is the way it's written is that it's only speeding. It's not to do with distance. So whether it's their measurement was wrong, which is fair enough why they should appeal it, but
I think that the line was painted wrong, and that's why they were told not to cut the left as they entered.
Yeah, they painted it like Cadillac weren't there, and then they had to move the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The talk of the town was Kimi, of course.
Yeah.
I don't like the Kardashian, so I'll go with the other Kimi who won his fifth race. Actually, the Kardashian, she got her security guard to put out the umbrella when Lewis sprayed champagne on her. Like, I've seen her have lots of things sprayed on her. I don't think that's her biggest problem.
Actually, Kimi Antonelli posted something today too. Apparently, one of the entourage stole his towel from the when they were the podium at the start of the race.
Yeah.
And so Mercedes have posted a social media post today about, oh, where's my towel? Poking fun at her.
Yeah, fantastic. And the compression ratios. We're off to Barcelona with the Catalunya race next, and some of the teams have actually already started showing their livery. And I have to say, the Racing Bulls car looks amazing. They've just done this amazing livery. So it'll be interesting to see if those compression ratio rules make a difference with the Mercs and the McLarens and every other team that's using the Merc engines. But Catalunya next, so that'll be interesting to see. And tomorrow, we're off to the FIFA World Cup. So I'm really looking forward to watching the World Cup. I think there's going to be some great games at really bad times for us to watch in Australia as usual. But there has been so many countries and teams scrutinised upon entry. Non-playing team refused entry, and the top Somalian umpire was refused entry in Miami. They sent him back. He was humble. He understood it, even though they accused him of, being associated with pirates and rubbish. Canada has come out today and said they'll fly him up to Canada to do the games in Canada because it's Mexico, USA, and Canada. And Canada has said you can come up and referee the games in Canada. So what was going to be the world's first Somalian FIFA rep at a World Cup was cancelled, but he's on a plane now to Canada. So really good story.
And he's considered the best referee in Africa.
He is. He's won awards for being the best. Yeah, so he's a super good ref, and well done to Canada, which is the common sense to the USA's crazy in the last few years, and probably our best big brother. Lots of people have been turned away, like fans, physios, trainers. Lots of people have been turned away. The stadium in New York, there is no public transport too, so you got to pay $230 US to get a parking spot, and then you get a bus ticket to the ground. I don't think anyone will be paying $230 US on top of their tickets for that.
Well, you see the prices from the NBA?
Yeah, well, the Knicks of $10,000 minimum. Yeah. They've also banned refillable water bottles at all of the events for the World Cup in all three countries. So you have to buy a $7 US water bottle if you want water at the concession stand. But there's also issues. There's going to be some hospitality workers probably striking. They're not getting paid enough. That usually happens all the time. But I think we're going to see some really good football / soccer. But I think France is my pick to take it all out.
Yeah. I haven't watched soccer in a few. I used to watch the World Cup. Get up at 2 a.m. in the morning, watch it, but I haven't watched it in the last few years. So I've got no prediction on who's going to win.
All the Aussie games are pretty good. They're like 2 p.m. on Sunday sort of thing.
Yeah, we're not classed as well. The Australian one is against the USA, so that's prime time for them.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to be a good one. But we're not classed as being overly watched for Europe. So we're at a dumb time for them, which is a good time for us. So
yeah.
So not complaining too much.
I think we've got a chance to get out of the group stage, to be honest.
Look, I don't care what happens in the group stage. I'm worried about Turkey in our league.
Yep.
I just want to see us beat USA and make sure we knock the USA out. They're talking it up like we're shit, and I 100% believe we could beat them.
So. Well, they think a lot of the teams that have been affected are teams that would be playing the US, with the teams being disrupted too. So
yeah. The only thing they can't do is do it to us, as much as I'll try.
Yeah. And I think that is our belated fortnightly podcast catch up. Has anyone have anything else?
No, done.
No. And Angus, you're moving home soon.
Yeah. Early next month, we've gone unconditional in a place, I don't know, like 3 kilometers south.
More into Logan. That's the spirit.
Well, technically we've been in Logan the whole time, so Rosedale South is in Logan. Yeah. So I'm just getting slightly more Logan.
Yeah.
One stage it was Brisbane City Council, Rosedale.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been when I lived here, so it's always been Logan.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And Angus, it's fair. I was going to say, Angus, you also left off the important rugby news for the weekend. With the Puffin Dragons.
Oh, Puffin Dragons, yeah. So we've got a festival this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm packing house and tidying and washing and whatnot. So I've had to miss my own festival, which is really shit. But yeah, the boys will be down there. Looks like it's gonna be a full team. Everyone's crawling out of the woodwork for their own festival, so we're gonna have a pretty big team there actually.
Yeah, good.
So yeah,
And they got raffles and jumping castles and stuff. I saw.
Yeah, raffles, jumping castles. There's a carver ceremony later on after the game. They'll have the Super Rugby on after all the rugby's finished. So you've watched all the awesome rugby during the day, and then watch some Super Rugby knuckleheads run around.
Watch Trev run over everyone.
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, well, thank you, gentlemen. It has been a lovely chat as always. Thank you, everyone, for listening / watching us. And we will do our best to catch up with you next week.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. All right. I will put that all up this evening.
I was thinking my record